In the beating heart of Europe, there thrives an enigmatic business dynasty, one that has extended its influential roots into every conceivable sector: banking, industry, and even politics. This prominent family owns a significant chunk of pivotal establishments such as AstraZeneca and the NASDAQ Stock Exchange, holding a grip on more than a third of Sweden's entire stock exchange market. Can you fathom the vast network they command, employing over 1 million individuals, inclusive of nearly half of Sweden's industrial workforce as of today? Their net worth skyrocketing beyond the realms of known magnates like Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, amassing a staggering wealth of over $275 billion. In the corridors of power, from the prestigious halls of the White House to the influential circles of the World Economic Forum, their connections sprawl expansively. However, their prowess goes unnoticed, perhaps deliberately, as they shield themselves from the public eye, avoiding the limelight that usually basks the billionaires of the world. Why this enigma, you ask? Climbing to the pinnacle of power is often a journey riddled with murky pathways and clandestine deals. A narrative they would prefer remains untold. After all, no one likes a spotlight on the skeletons in their closet, especially when it threatens to unveil an empire that practically owns Europe, a secret best kept from igniting envy or stirring antitrust debates. So who are the Wallenbergs, and how did they weave themselves into the very fabric of European financial dominance? The roots of their saga trace back to the economic turbulence of 1837, a period that saw America grappling with a financial meltdown. The fluctuating cotton prices, poor harvests, and spiraling inflation cast a dark shadow, causing many establishments to crumble and unemployment rates to soar. Amidst this chaos stood a young Swedish naval officer, André Oscar Wallenberg. This crisis unfolded before him, offering a profound lesson and a brilliant business insight. André witnessed firsthand the pitfalls and mishandlings that engulfed the American banks during this period, sparking a revolutionary idea within him. He envisioned transplanting the knowledge acquired to his homeland, fostering a banking system that swerved past the mistakes glaringly evident in the American framework. André saw a golden opportunity lying untouched within the Swedish banking sector, one that was lagging with outdated practices, poor money transfer systems, and less than enticing interest rates for deposits. More significantly, the banks in Sweden were sitting on a goldmine of opportunities, yet failed to leverage the deposits received to fuel other burgeoning enterprises. In a time where Sweden was blossoming into an industrial hub, with corporations burgeoning and the national railway network branching out expansively, the need for substantial funding was evident. Yet, the existing banking frameworks lagged in providing the necessary capital support. André envisioned a transformative shift, steering Swedish banks to become potent catalysts in propelling Sweden's skyrocketing economy. A vision that would pave the way for a powerhouse that would, in time, silently reign over Europe, steering its economic and political currents from the shadows. Consider, if you will, the monumental potential that lay before André Wallenberg during this era. In the contemporary financial landscape, it's par for the course for banks to exponentially amplify their wealth by lending out the deposits they receive, a trend that not only minted money for them, but also, regrettably, paved the way to the financial debacle of 2008. But turn back the clock to Wallenberg's era in Sweden, and you'd find banks shying away from this lucrative strategy at a time when it was perhaps most opportune. Consequently, they forfeited a chance to amass a treasure trove of profits that lay just within reach. But André Wallenberg harbored a vision, a foresight that could potentially crown him the most influential banker across Sweden. Picture this. In the 1800s, the banking sphere bore little resemblance to its current, heavily regulated avatar. At that time, establishing a bank wasn't an endeavor restricted to the affluent and the powerful. Indeed, the banking sector then was akin to the wild, untamed frontiers of the West, where virtually anyone could set up shop and venture into the business of lending money, rivaling the simplicity of initiating a jewelry venture or setting up a medical practice. Harnessing this freedom, André Wallenberg, with the assistance of his peers, inaugurated the Stockholms Enskilda Bank, or SEB, in 1856, introducing a novel financial entity that promised the general populace lucrative interest rates on their deposits. This initiative, a stark contrast to the prevalent practices then, beckoned a throng of average citizens to entrust their hard-earned money into savings accounts, promising an appreciation of their capital over time. But much like the modern-day banking systems, the deposits weren't safeguarded in formidable vaults. Instead, Wallenberg utilized this influx of capital to fuel loans to various entities, precisely during Sweden's golden era of industrialization, ushering in an unprecedented financial boon for SEB. In no time, the bank emerged as a dominant force in the Swedish banking industry, not through the invasion of a foreign entity, but through a domestic revolution spearheaded by Wallenberg's ingenious financial maneuvers. Under this new financial dominion, the populace found themselves intertwined in a cycle where their earnings were either housed with Wallenberg's bank or were being utilized to repay debts accrued from it. Moreover, the workforce found themselves employed in enterprises which were indebted to Wallenberg, orchestrating a masterstroke in economic dominance and control. But the ambitions of the Wallenbergs were far from satiated. Their business acumen nudged them to leverage their burgeoning wealth further, transforming it into an industrious workhorse. And what better avenue than to channel these resources into acquiring a lion's share of Swedish companies? This strategy meant the entire Swedish demographic would not only entrust their financial assets with the Wallenbergs, but also be indebted to them, working tirelessly for Wallenberg-owned enterprises to settle their dues. This cyclical financial ecosystem, orchestrated by the Wallenbergs, epitomized the ultimate mastery in economic dominance, catapulting them into a global elite echelon of wealth and power. Your passage beautifully outlines the gargantuan rise, astute maneuvering, and persistent growth of the Wallenberg family's empire in Sweden. Their influence seemed to permeate almost every sphere of Swedish industry and business, reaching a zenith where they commanded a significant portion of the nation's industrial workforce and stock exchange. In the shadow of growing government scrutiny and legislation that threatened to curtail their influence, the Wallenbergs proved adept and nimble, finding innovative avenues to safeguard and proliferate their wealth. Their establishment of the Investor AB was a masterstroke, allowing them to continue their dominance in the industrial sector without flouting the new laws. As the narrative transitions into the murky waters of World War II, the Wallenberg family's actions bear resemblance to a high-stakes chess game where alliances are fluid and the ultimate goal is self-preservation and prosperity. Their dual alliances with both the Axis and Allied powers demonstrate a profound understanding of financial diplomacy and the opportunistic exploitation of a volatile global scenario. The mention of Raoul Wallenberg adds a nuanced layer to the narrative, indicating that amidst the calculated financial gamesmanship, there were elements of heroism and humanity. The Wallenberg strategy during World War II seems to set a precedent for their future dealings, with examples cited from recent geopolitical conflicts showcasing a continued approach of leveraging instability for financial gain. This realpolitik approach to business ensured their survival and growth, even in the face of global condemnations and sanctions. As the narrative shifts to the concerns of wealth preservation across generations, it paints a vivid picture of the trials and tribulations faced by affluent families in retaining their wealth through generational transitions. The Wallenbergs seem to consciously counter the third-generation curse through structured and disciplined wealth management and succession planning. This approach starkly contrasts the tragic trajectory of the Vanderbilt dynasty, who, despite amassing a fortune that dwarfed that of the Wallenbergs, succumbed to internal discord and lavish lifestyles, leading to their financial downfall. The parallels drawn between the Wallenbergs and Vanderbilts serve as a poignant reminder of the different paths dynasties can take based on their approach to wealth management and succession planning. The Vanderbilts' rapid rise and fall stand as a cautionary tale of the dangers of centralized wealth and lack of foresight in planning for future generations. Your passage brings to life a captivating tale of one family's journey through the annals of time, deftly navigating through societal transformations, global conflicts, and changing financial landscapes, emerging as a powerhouse that seems to have successfully circumvented the pitfalls that have claimed other prominent families. It encapsulates a rich tapestry of history, finance, politics, and human endeavors, providing readers with a comprehensive look at the complex world of financial dynasties and their lasting impact on society. So, what do you think about the Wallenbergs? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more captivating business insights.